Hey everyone, David C. Anderson coming at you from the Knife Center, and today it's Zero Tolerance versus Spyderco, Rick Hinderer versus Gayle Bradley. We're pitting the ZT562 Ti against the Spyderco Advocate, and you get to pick the winner. Let's go. Both the ZT562 Ti and the Spyderco Advocate are titanium frame locking knives with powder metallurgy blades, and they're a great example of how two items with similar specs can be executed in very different ways. The subtle differences between the two can be hard to tell just from a photo on a website, so that's why we do these comparisons. Let's start with the handles, and the first thing you'll notice is the difference in the thickness. The ZT definitely has more girth, and along with the finger grooves on the front, it has a beefier feel in the hand. The Advocate is slimmer and it has a more refined feel in the hand. It's more of a gentleman's EDC tactical knife, whereas the ZT is more of a working man's tactical EDC. That's reflected on the finish on the handles as well. The ZT has a stone-washed finish, which will help when doing harder work, since the scratches will tend to blend in more over time. The Advocate, on the other hand, has a lightly textured orange peel finish. It's not something you see too often, and it's a real classy touch. The blades are also in keeping with the same personalities that started with the handles. They both flip well and run on ball-bearing pivots for very smooth action. Now the ZT has a more definitive action, and that's mostly due to the weight differences in the blade. As you would expect from a hard worker, it is a little bit thicker, and when that weight locks up, you definitely feel it in the hand. To offset that extra thickness a little bit, this knife does come with Rick Hinderer's slicer grind. This keeps the flat grind thicker near the heel for powering through heavier cuts, but thinner out near the tip for more efficient slicing. And the CPM 20CV steel ensures plenty of edge retention and stain resistance. The Advocate's blade is a bit thinner overall, but it's no slouch either. It sports a more conventional flat grind, but it's made with CPM M4 steel. M4 is renowned for its toughness, so even though the blade is thinner, you should have no problem tackling anything you want to throw at it. One thing it isn't though is stainless, and it can take a nice patina if you want to, and you'll have to take care of it so that it doesn't rust. But if you like classic carbon steel for its character but want modern performance, then M4 is a great option. In keeping with the classier vibe of the Advocate, in addition to that flipper tab, you can also open the blade with the signature Spyderco thumb hole for more deliberate action. We also get a nice curve in front of the flipper, which is great for choking up on with your index finger, and that's going to make delicate work even easier with this knife. The lockup on both these knives is rock solid, with no blade play in any direction. And they both have an over-travel arrestor to prevent the lock from being pushed out too far when you're disengaging it. But the way they go about the job is in keeping with their character. The ZT uses a disc on the outside, which is one of those signature Rick Hinderer elements that's made it onto this knife. But the Advocate's is mounted internally, and it's integrated with the hardened lock bar insert, something the ZT also has, which overall it's a more elegant solution to that problem. The Advocate's insert also screws in from the inside rather than the outside, which means you don't see any screw holes on the back side of the lock bar for a cleaner look. Lastly, the pocket clips. Both are reversible for left or right carry in a tip-up configuration. The Spyderco's clip looks nicer out of the box with a higher polish than the black clip of the ZT. The ZT, however, features a deep carry pocket clip, and it mounts from inside the handle instead of screwing in from the outer surface, which keeps the aesthetics cleaner on this knife, a bit of a flip of the script thematically. So here's where you all come in. You have to tell us which of these knives comes out on top. Do you go for the heavier duty ZT562 Ti or the more refined Spyderco Advocate? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and in the meantime, to get your hands on either of these great blades, click the link in the description below to head over to KnifeCenter.com.